a former Olympic gold medalist turned UFC sensation. He's conquered 2 weight classes, holding titles in both the flyweight and bantamweight divisions, earning the moniker Triple C. His lightning-fast strikes and relentless wrestling make him a force to be reckoned with inside the Octagon. His journey from the Olympic podium to becoming a 2-division UFC champion is a testament to his unparalleled skill and determination. Join us as we delve into the electrifying career of Henry Cejudo, a true mixed martial arts icon who stands as the King of Cringe and the self-proclaimed greatest combat athlete. Henry Cejudo was born on February 9th, 1987, and like many UFC stars, he too had a rough childhood. The second youngest son of Mexican immigrants, Henry was one of 7 children raised by a single mother. While his mother worked multiple jobs to try and feed the family, his father was busy being an alcoholic and doing drugs. Soon, domestic violence became a serious issue. Terrified, his mother escaped from LA to New Mexico, and shortly after, Jorge Cejudo was deported back to Mexico. To start a new chapter in life, the family relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, where Henry found his love for wrestling at the age of 10. Even though he had a natural talent for the sport, it didn't mean that the road was easy. Cejudo recalled not getting enough food, since it had to be divided amongst 7 siblings. Moreover, seeing that his mother had to work endlessly to fulfill their basic needs fueled his hunger even more. This led him to winning multiple state-level championships and eventually winning a gold medal at the 2008 Olympics. In 2013, Henry announced that he was transitioning to MMA with the same hunger and resilient mindset that carried him through his wrestling career. He doubled down, putting in the work, accumulating 4 first-round TKOs, and amassing a record of 6-0 in just a year. Standing at 5'4", Henry showed us that he's capable of amazing feats by continually taking down opponents who were taller than him and had superior reach as well. This caught the eye of the UFC, and in 2014, Cejudo had signed with the promotion. He made a successful debut against Dustin Kimura on December 13, 2014, winning via a split decision. Even though his debut fight was contested in the bantamweight division, Cejudo made it clear that he wanted to fight in the flyweight division, aiming to conquer it.
In his hometown of Phoenix, Arizona, Henry the Messenger Cejudo.
His next bout was with Chris Carriazo, a former title challenger at UFC 185. Henry dominated the fight, using his elite-level wrestling skills and countering every strike Chris threw at him. Their clash would end with Triple C getting the nod and a unanimous decision win. At UFC 188, it was another showcase of impressive wrestling prowess that contributed to Chico Kamos getting shut down. Cejudo made sure to neutralize any takedown attempts made and secured numerous takedowns of his own. With this unanimous decision victory, Henry was 9-0 and primed to put his undefeated record on the line against stiffer competition. Triple C went on to fight against Jussier Formiga at UFC Fight Night 78, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This fight became a proving ground for Cejudo, as he got a chance to test just how good his ground game was against a more experienced MMA fighter. The contest resulted in a split decision win, and it was time for Henry to take on the Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, for a shot at the title at UFC 197. This fight turned out to be a disaster for Cejudo, as Johnson was just on fire. Henry would succumb to eating one too many knees to the body, as he was unable to take Mighty Mouse down. The TKO marked the first loss of his professional MMA career, putting an end to his undefeated streak.
Muay Thai to the body. Trying to finish it. It is all over.
Despite this setback, Henry was determined to show that he was capable of conquering the world of MMA and becoming champion as well. He would test himself once again, facing Joseph Benavidez. Unfortunately, Cejudo would experience disappointment once more, losing in the finale of the Ultimate Fighter Tournament of Champions event. The fight was very close, with both fighters dependent on their striking, exchanging blows in the octagon for the majority of the rounds. In the end, Joseph came out on top, landing the better strikes in the eyes of the judges and winning via split decision. Henry's resilience and determination didn't waver as he would march back into the Octagon at UFC 215 against Wilson Rees. Improvements in his stand-up game were evident, which culminated in a TKO during the second round.
Henry Cejudo with his first UFC finish!
Having faced tough competition in his past few fights, his hype didn't diminish one bit. Another title contention fight was given to Cejudo as he went toe-to-toe against Sergio Pettis at UFC 218. This time, Henry was able to impose his will, dominating his opponent with takedowns and intense ground and pound, on his way to a well-deserved unanimous decision victory.
By Cejudo. Cejudo looking for the takedown. Pettis falls.
The messenger, Cejudo!
With the King of Cringe becoming the #1 contender once again, he would get his rematch versus Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson at UFC 227. This time, Henry used his wrestling pedigree to his advantage with a different game plan, holding down Johnson to minimize his movement. The fight went on in the usual flyweight style, with a pace hard to follow. Both fighters were constantly scrambling, trying to gain the upper hand. It was very much like a chess match, with both fighters going to war for all 5 rounds. This time, with Henry mixing up his striking and grappling much better the second go-round. In the end, the fight went to the judges' scorecards, who scored the fight in Cejudo's favor, marking the end of Demetrius' 6-year rule over the division, and crowning Triple C as the new UFC flyweight champion. Now with a UFC title under his belt, Henry wanted double champ status in the promotion and a shot at bantamweight glory. But instead, he booked his first title defense against TJ Dillashaw, who moved down from 135 to fight him for his title. As intriguing as the matchup was, the fight started and ended pretty quickly, as Cejudo was able to TKO Dillashaw in quick fashion, just 32 seconds into the fight, after connecting a big right hand, followed by a barrage of punches on the ground. This performance gave the King of Cringe his opportunity to fight at 135 for the vacant bantamweight title against Marlon Moraes at UFC 238. The fight started with the Brazilian chopping up Henry's legs with low kicks, trying to maintain as much distance as possible. By the third round, Cejudo picked up the pace and started consistently landing on Marlon with a combination of punches and knees. His ability to keep Moraes guessing with a constant search of takedown attempts wore the opponent down. Ultimately, it was Henry's ground and pound work that finished off Marlon in the third, making Cejudo a double champion. This accomplishment was what made Henry the Triple C.
Oh, he's winning. He won round 2, and now he's beating Marlon Moraes in round 3.
Oh,
He is.
That's
it.
it. Get him a second belt.
Wow.
Henry Cejudo.
From that first round, it looked like the loss was inevitable. Henry turns it around.
Not only has he stayed in the game, he is at the top of the game.
A new undisputed UFC.
In hopes of further solidifying his reign, Cejudo faced Dominic Cruz in the co-main event of UFC 249, defending his bantamweight crown. A highlight of the fight were the constant leg kicks from Henry, chopping up Dominic and making his movement unstable. The second round marked the end of the fight, as Cejudo launched a knee that hurt Cruz, followed by some ferocious ground and pound.
I'm sure they considered that Dominic. Oh, that's a beautiful leg kick there.
Big knee from Cejudo.
Oh, he hurt Dominic.
And still.
I'm retiring tonight, Joe. Triple C's out. You guys don't have to hear my ass no more.
Well, thank you, sir. It's been an
Little did we know at the time, this victory became Triple C's retirement fight from MMA, saying that he had already achieved a lot for a 33-year-old and preferred to go out while reaching the pinnacle of the sport. Fans had always hoped to see him back in action, and after a 3-year-long retirement, the itch to compete couldn't be ignored any longer, and Henry would return to the Octagon at UFC 288 to fight for the Bantamweight Championship against Aljamain Sterling. Unfortunately, the fight didn't go Cejudo's way. Although Triple C's takedown offense was still on point, it wasn't enough to get him the nod from the judges. Sterling appeared to get the better of the striking exchanges, which led to the split decision.
Henry Cejudo go the championship distance here in Newark, New Jersey.
Now Henry Cejudo is slated to clash with Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 298 in an attempt to stay in title contention. Even though both fighters are experienced in wrestling, I would give the advantage to Cejudo due to his Olympic accolades. Merab is currently on an 8-fight winning streak, and the momentum he has is clearly going to give him a confidence boost. But if you've seen how well Triple C's striking has improved in his last few fights, you know that Dvalishvili is not going to have an easy fight. This co-main event is going to be an exciting addition to the fight card, and the winner should be getting the title shot next. All that's left for us now is to sit back and watch how it will all go down on February 17th at UFC 298.